The 9-month lie. My wife's fake pregnancy. They say the foundation of any marriage is trust. It's a cliche because it's true. Without trust, you don't have a partnership, you have a shared delusion. I thought my foundation was solid rock. Turns out it was built on sand, and it took 9 months for the tide to come in and wash it all away. My name is Mark, and 5 years ago, my life imploded in the most bizarre and devastating way imaginable. This is the story of my wife's fake pregnancy and the wreckage left behind. My wife Sarah and I had been trying for a baby for 3 years. It was an exhausting, heartbreaking cycle of hope and disappointment. Negative tests, fertility specialists, tears in the bathroom in the middle of the night. It strained us. I think deep down, Sarah felt broken. She felt like she was failing me, even though I told her every day that she was enough. Then came the day. I came home from work, and there was a tiny pair of knitted booties on the kitchen table. Next to them, a positive pregnancy test. I dropped my keys. I think I cried for 20 minutes straight, holding her. It felt like the sun had finally come out after a 3-year storm. We were going to be parents. The next few months were a blur of pure joy. We were in full nesting mode. We painted the spare room a soft yellow. We bought a crib we couldn't really afford. Sarah was glowing. Whatever she needed, I did it. Late-night cravings for pickles and ice cream? I was at the 24-hour store. Back rubs? Every night. I took on extra shifts at work to save money for the baby. I was exhausted, but happy. Looking back, the red flags were there. They were giant, waving red flags, but I was wearing rose-colored glasses so thick I couldn't see anything but the future I wanted. Sarah was strangely evasive about doctor appointments. She always scheduled them when I absolutely couldn't get away from work. "Oh, don't worry, honey," she'd say, rubbing her growing belly. "It's just a boring checkup. My sister's coming with me." I trusted her. Why wouldn't I? Her belly was growing. She had morning sickness. She complained about her swollen ankles. She was performing the role of a lifetime, and I was the easiest audience in the world. We had a baby shower around the 7-month mark. Our friends and family showered us with gifts, strollers, diapers, tiny clothes. Sarah sat in a decorated chair, laughing, opening presents, her hands resting on their distinct bump. Thinking about that day now makes me physically ill. The deception involved in looking our mothers in the eye, accepting their love and gifts for a child that didn't exist. It's a level of sociopathy I still can't comprehend. The collapse happened in the 8th month. Sarah was out shopping with friends. I was home looking for our passports for a potential baby moon trip before the due date. I was digging through the back of her closet looking for a lockbox we kept important documents in. I pulled out an old duffel bag to move it, and the zipper snagged and popped open. Inside, it wasn't clothes. It was boxes of tampons, empty wrappers, and at the bottom, something that looked like foam padding. A structured, curved piece of foam wrapped in elastic bandages. My brain couldn't process it. I stood there holding this prop, this theatrical pregnancy belly. Suddenly, everything clicked into place. The evasive doctor visits, the fact that I had never actually felt the baby kick. She always said, "Oh, you just missed it," or moved away when I tried to touch her stomach for too long. The financial stress I was under while she was secretly buying menstrual products and hiding the evidence. When she walked in the door an hour later, carrying shopping bags full of baby clothes, I was sitting on the couch with the foam belly on the coffee table in front of me. The look on her face, it wasn't fear, it was sheer exhaustion. The confrontation wasn't screaming, it was crying. Hours of agonizing, hysterical crying from her. The truth came out in jagged pieces. There was no baby. There never was. The positive test? She bought it online. She told me that month after month of negative tests had broken her. She said she was convinced I was going to leave her for someone who worked properly. So when her period was late 1 month by just 2 days, she told me she was pregnant in a moment of panic, desperate to see me happy. When her period came the next day, she couldn't bring herself to destroy that happiness, so she lied. And then she had to keep lying. She bought the prosthetic online. She researched symptoms. She faked everything. She said she didn't have an end game. She was just living day to day, terrified of the inevitable explosion. She claimed it was an act of love, driven by fear of losing me. But it didn't feel like love. It felt like psychological abuse. For 8 months, she had gaslit me into preparing for a fatherhood that was never coming. The consequences were immediate and brutal. First, the practical nightmare. We had to return everything. The crib, the stroller, the tiny clothes. Every return trip to the store was a walk of shame. The nursery we painted stood empty, a bright yellow monument to a massive lie. Then came the social fallout. How do you tell your family that the grandchild they're expecting is a piece of foam? Sarah couldn't face them, so I had to make the calls. My mother cried. Her mother screamed at me until Sarah finally got on the phone and confessed. Our friends felt betrayed, used for gifts and sympathy. We became pariahs overnight. The financial damage was real. We were deep in debt from preparing for a baby, on top of the debt Sarah had secretly accrued buying supplies to maintain the ruse. But the worst consequence was us. I tried. For a few weeks, I really tried to understand her mental state. I tried to see it as a mental health crisis rather than malice, but I couldn't look at her. Every time I saw her stomach, now flat again, I felt sick. Every time she spoke, I wondered if it was real. The intimacy was gone. The trust was vaporized. You can't rebuild a foundation when you know the ground underneath is completely hollow. 6 weeks after the discovery, I moved out. The divorce was finalized a year later. Sarah needed help that I couldn't give her, professional help. Last I heard, she moved back with her parents and was in therapy. I hope she finds peace. I really do. As for me, I'm still paying off the debt for the crib that never held a child. I still flinch when I see pregnancy announcements on social media. I lost my wife. I lost the child I thought I was having. And I lost the ability to trust easily. They say the truth shall set you free, but sometimes the truth just leaves you standing in an empty, bright yellow room, wondering how you could have been so blind for so long.